Hey, what's going on, guys? Dave the Usher here, and I'm with my awesome and talented wife, Ty.
Hello.
And we're going to be playing some Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It's going to be awesome stuff. Like I said, my wife is a master at this game.
Well,
A master.
I play it a lot. We'll say
She knows her business. We're going to be checking out one of the missions, and let's see what trouble we can get into here.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some crazy mischief.
We'll see what happens. Everything is different every day.
We're going to get into some crazy trouble. So, Ty, Heavensward has been out for a little bit now, right?
Yeah, I think about a month, almost a month.
And how much have you accomplished by this point, after this time?
I leveled my main class to 60, which is Ninja, and I power leveled basically my fishing, just got to 60, and those are the things that I really care about, are fishing, and then I'm going to start working on my crafting, the rest of my crafts to 60 as well.
And what'll happen once you, achieve that?
Well, I'll be happy, and I believe there's a specialist system where you can choose 3 of your things to specialize in.
All right.
My character.
This is your character. What's her name?
Her name is Slipstream.
Does that have any significance?
I like Slipstream from Transformers.
Slipstream from Transformers.
Correct.
See, that's what's cool. It's nice that you can always name a character in a game anything you want. You know, a long time ago, of course, that was kind of the norm. In the earlier Final Fantasy games, you could name, the main characters any name you want. You could customize, and then, things changed up, but they're kind of getting back to that, you know?
Yeah.
And, Final Fantasy XIV would be a prime example of, the ability to give your characters custom names and all that.
Well, a big thing in the expansion, as we had mentioned previously, is being able to have flying mounts. So you can now fly in the new zones, which is amazing.
I have to say, this game looks amazing on my computer.
It looks great.
This game looks really amazing on my computer. I'm blown away. Thank you, computer.
Yeah.
For making this look amazing.
And this over here, as you can see, the new primal that just came up is Alexander, and he just rose from the waters, and that's sort of an endgame thing.
Alexander. So what mischief are we off to today? Where are we going?
I'm going to go back to my house, and then we are going to see what quests I have available.
I want to get into some craziness, man.
Well,
I want dragon hordes and swarms of beasts, monsters.
Let's see.
So why did you decide to customize your character this way? Why did you want to have a smaller type character?
Well, I played as a Mikoti, which is the cat people, a lot. But besides that, then I saw some Lalafels running around, and I really thought they were cute, and they were really awesome. Also, when you're dodging circles and stuff, you can actually see a little bit better if your character's in it. But it's nice to dodge on any character. I just like the Lalafels. They're cute.
All right, here we are.
This is my guild house.
Now, Ty, you are currently in a guild yourself, and a lot of players that play this game, of course, are involved in guilds, right?
Correct. Like FCs, they're called free companies, and you just sort of... Yeah, and we bought this house recently, right before the expansion.
How much was it?
I couldn't comment on how much we spent, but...
Do you have a mortgage, or...?
No.
Okay.
We paid cash for it.
All
but
right.
Gil. It was very good. And we all have our own private rooms and things. And we craft a lot.
That's awesome.
We have a fully... Not fully upgraded airship, but we can actually go into there and see the airship portion, which is another great thing with the expansion. Go to the company workshop. And this is where we all work together to make an airship. It was great.
So you're still working on that right now?
Well, we have the airship out deployed, exploring right now.
Ah.
But,
what is it exploring?
It's just, let's see. It's found some things. It's rating A. It just shows that he went around and he did some things, and then I think he keeps upgrading.
So what does that accomplish by doing that?
It gets XP for the airship to go to the next rank, so we can keep
And then you can use your rewards for...
To make better pieces for the airship, and then it can go to better places.
Alrighty.
And in here we can also make housing stuff, and we can make other stuff, but it's a nice little workshop.
Alright, Ty, so right now we're checking out one of the missions here. The Mach Squad.
Yeah, the Mach Squad.
We're doing the Mach Squad, baby.
But I just noticed there's a fate going on over here that I want to get involved with.
Oh, yeah.
These faces mean it's a boss fate, so...
Got about a little less than 9.5 minutes on it, so
Yeah.
that's plenty of time.
But you've got to look at the progress. They're hitting it pretty hard. I'm going to try and get in there quick enough.
We can check some of it out. But yeah, why don't you tell us about the fates in the game?
There's all new fates. They're sort of just little like mini events that obviously will give you XP, but it also introduces you to the world of each new section. So I find it great because you are fighting things not just from your main quest.
I like them too. I like the fates a lot. Games do it now. It's pretty popular in MMOs. And I don't know, they're just neat. They're spontaneous. That's probably the number one reason why they're awesome, because it's so spontaneous. You know, they can just jump up and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm doing this now, man. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just add something in real time that you just get off of what you're normally doing, and you just kind of decide, well, I'm going to get involved with this. There's
Woggly.
always something to
It's a
do.
giant dragonfly.
There's always something to be done in this game. There you go. So I got some company seals, or storm seals. I'm part of the Maelstrom company.
You got some good stuff?
Yeah, little
There you
gill. And if I wasn't max level, I'd have some XP. Some
And
goodies.
they're off. They did not stick around.
And you know, then
See ya.
you fly off to the next thing. Maybe you'll be distracted by another fate if you wanted to. You can figure out what you want to do during your adventure that day.
So what are the lands that we are checking out right now? What is this land called, this region?
We are in Travania, the Churning Mists, which is the Mog home.
You know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Zeal in Chrono Trigger. Just a little bit. I just imagine if Chrono Trigger was updated to, like, next generation graphics, I feel like Zeal would be similar to this, maybe.
Alright, so what we're doing now is we're looking for some little boogles.
Or perhaps the floating continent in Final Fantasy VI.
But if you see this symbol above their head, I have daily hunts that I do every single day, and these monsters need to be killed.
Of course, the floating continent in Final Fantasy VI wasn't really habitable. So, Ty, you said that you were in a guild. Do you and your guild members have kind of a specific schedule and when you guys kind of group up together, or is it maybe a little bit spontaneous-like, or both?
Our group does not, but most of us are on pretty much every day, so if anyone needs to do anything, we can.
So you don't even really need to bother to coordinate getting together.
No, and you know, that's not necessary, but a lot of people outside of their guild, you might form a static, and link shells are outside of guild things, and link shells are just little groups that you can be a part of, so maybe you want to get together with some people that aren't in your guild to do some content, and you can totally do that.
Alright, so we found Moogle number 2,
Magut.
and this may complete our quest?
It might.
Let's see. You gotta search for both of them inside this red circle, of course.
Yeah,
There we go.
green checkpoint.
Hey, Ty, what was your first Moogle interaction from what Final Fantasy game, if you can recall?
Final Fantasy IX, where he falls on your head when you're trying to climb up that ladder.
You know, in Final Fantasy IX, the Moogles were a very big part of the game, extremely big. But for me, personally,
Look at that.
the first time I discovered the Moogles and had Moogle interaction, it was Final Fantasy VI, when Mog and his friends saved the day, you know, with Locke in the beginning of the game. That was awesome. An awesome moment. An awesome Moogle moment. Okay, so we're back in Tailfeather, having completed the Moogle quest. Let's see what we can get into right now.
Let's see what he's got for us.
What's he want us to do?
Someone to help him shirk his duties.
Shirk his duties?
He doesn't want to get out there.
Lazy? Alright, let's do it, man. So we are helping Chocobos?
They are hunters. Like, we hunt Chocobos sometimes, but sometimes the Chocobos are mean sometimes.
So yeah, sometimes they are. Oh, I was just talking about first interaction with Moogles. What about your first interaction with, not Chocobos, but what about interaction with mean Chocobos? What was your first interaction with mean Chocobos, Ty?
I don't remember a mean Chocobo.
I guess this game for you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me tell you mine. Mine was in Final Fantasy Tactics, released in the late 90s, and there were mean Chocobos in that game. And let me tell you, the Chocobos in that game were crazy, tough, and powerful. Especially those red ones, man. So does anything stand out to you as being like a very creepy-looking enemy? Can you like recall anything?
There's actually on this map these Ninkai, I think they're
Ninkai?
Ninkai they have like multiple eyeballs, and it makes me really
like something that actually freaks you out and makes your skin crawl.
Yeah.
Because what I love about Final Fantasy games is how they just have a vast amount of enemies, different types of looking enemies, and throughout the series, some enemies remain, they get facelifts and updates, but there's always been those Final Fantasy favorites as far as enemy-wise go, I remember when the Final Fantasy imp used to be a threat.
Oh, yeah, there are imps.
There's always the imps.
I have a little mini imp.
Good old imps.
As a friend.
A friend?
You can have little minions that hang out with you, and one of mine is a little imp. He's so cute.
Of course, one of my favorite all-time Final Fantasy enemies, you know what it is? It's the Final Fantasy bomb. First time I encountered one of those was in Final Fantasy IV. When we were climbing the mountains, Cecil and company, we discovered Yang being attacked.
Oh, we got two enemies somehow. Let's do this.
That was an epic battle. And there's nothing like an epic Final Fantasy battle. What's great about Final Fantasy games for a little while now is that the weather can change. There's day and night. There's different types of weather.
Yeah, as you can see, I have it set to Aware's at time. So it's 4:31.
Not always the case in very early Final Fantasy games, but when we started getting into, Final Fantasy IX and such, we started seeing that kind of thing more and more, and it's always been pretty awesome.
Where's he going? We gotta go speak with the chief or something.
There you go.
Now these are good. These are what you feed your Chocobos to change their color. And I need purple.
Quest complete.
And as you can see, there's multiple chains of quests. And as you can see now, that opened up 3 more quests. So you're never wanting for experience or quests or anything that you need to be doing. As I say, there's always something to be doing.
I love that when that happens, when one of your quests opens up multiple other quests, and now you're accepting others.
I'm just gonna pick these all up
Yeah,
so
that's
I
what
can
you do.
these later.
Get them all under your belt so you can just discover as you go. Of course, it's nice being able to accept multiple quests at, the same time.
Right. And as you can see, I can have 30 quests open at a time.
There you go. Good stuff. All right. Well, I think we showed a lot today, Ty. We got into some crazy battles,
Correct.
Completed a couple quests. We talked about some old Final Fantasy examples as well as some new ones.
Yeah.
And, I think we got into a little bit of mischief here.
We did.
We saw some Chocobos, we saw some Moogles, we went to a couple places. Well, we hope you enjoyed watching some footage of Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward. We had a lot of fun, and I'm glad that my wife was here to help out. Like I said, she knows what she's doing, and it was great to have her here show you guys some of the game. So thank you, Ty.
Thank you. This was very fun, and I highly recommend this game. It is great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here, and we'll catch you next time. See you later.